Irresistible thumbnails don't come from graphic design, it comes from psychology. Look at this thumbnail. Look at this thumbnail. Look at this thumbnail. Or this one, or this one, or this one. You get the point. The graphic design in them isn't great, but the psychology is genius. Today I'm walking through 5 hacks on creating irresistible thumbnails. But first off, why does this even matter? Well, obviously, if no one clicks on your thumbnail, then no one's going to watch your video. So you could spend a day, a week, a month, whatever it is, creating the best video ever, but if no one's clicking on your thumbnail, they're never going to see it. The thumbnail is arguably more important than the video itself. Now that statement was definitely more true back in the day with YouTube, when I feel like 50% of thumbnails were clickbait. But nowadays, a successful video really comes down to 2 main metrics. The average view duration, or average session duration, but that's another video in itself, we'll just call it average view duration. And the second metric is CTR, click-through rate. This metric here matters so much. Here's how it works very simply. YouTube shows your thumbnail to a few people. If a low percentage of people are clicking on that thumbnail, YouTube's gonna be like, cool, I'm not going to show this to a lot more people. Because YouTube is incentivized to show videos to people that they will click on. Because if they click on the video and watch it, then you can watch ads, and that's how YouTube make money. So YouTube's entire business model relies on you making good thumbnails. So today, let's walk through 5 hacks on creating irresistible thumbnails. Alright, this here is Ali Abdaal's channel. If you're watching a YouTube growth video, I'm presuming you know who Ali Abdaal is. And if we scroll down here in this list of most popular, you'll see this video here, 6 side hustles students can start in 2025. This here is a phenomenal thumbnail. It is absolutely incredible. It is one of the best. I made it, by the way, I designed it. It is so beautiful. It is phenomenal! If you want me to make a video breaking down working with Ali Abdaal as his thumbnail designer, let me know in the comments. But okay, if I try to remove my bias, this thumbnail here is pretty good. Or let's just look at Cara and Nate's recent thumbnail. So they have a video on the Earth Roamer, Antarctica cruise, overwater villas, a 7-day Christmas market cruise, seeing wild polar bears, etc. And the interesting thing here is Ali Abdaal and Cara and Nate are actually using the same psychology trick here in their thumbnails. And if you haven't realized, one is in education and the other is in entertainment, but they're still using the same psychology trick. So whether you're doing educational videos or entertainment videos, this applies to you. The trick they're doing here is understanding the goals of their audience. What is the thing that their audience wants? So I watch Cara and Nate because I want to see the world. I want to see a bunch of different places in the world that I could never afford to go to. I probably won't do a 2-week Antarctica cruise in my life. I probably won't come face to face to a polar bear. But that is something that I would love to do. And Kate and Nora understand this. They understand the goals and the desires of their audience. And Ali Abdaal does the same thing. He understands what the goals are of his audience. So here's what you're going to do. Open up a Word document or whatever and write down the goals of your audience. Your target audience is going to have a very different goal to any other audience. My audience, they want to blow up their YouTube channel, they maybe want to do YouTube full-time, etc. So I'll have a list here of goals that my audience has. Now do the same for your channel. Genuinely do this. It's going to help you with your titles and it's going to help you with your thumbnails. This Ali Abdaal thumbnail here works because his audience wants to make money online as a side hustle. So seeing these numbers here is very inspirational. It is a goal of his target audience. And clearly it resonated, getting over 3 million views. Again, if you want me to make a video what it was like being Ali Abdaal's thumbnail designer, let me know in the comments. Alright, this next tip here comes from Ryan Trahan. He is obviously one of the best at thumbnails. His YouTube packaging is on another level. And I actually made a video where I broke down his thumbnails using data. But I want to talk about a very specific thing that he does in his thumbnails. And just as an example, we'll look at his most recent video. The video is titled, I Tried Every Train in Japan. So first off, this video is a very good idea because it's been proven to work in the past. There is evidence that bullet train videos do well on YouTube, so with data, this is proven to be a good idea for a video. But this isn't enough for Ryan. He needs to take it to that one next step. And the psychology trick is using brands that people recognize. In Ryan's ABC test, he uses 2 brands, Hello Kitty and Pokemon. Because Ryan knows his audience knows those brands. They are brands that his audience think about, they possibly use, they possibly grew up on, whatever it is. Ryan's audience knows and likes those brands. And he's a master of this. I go through this in my Ryan Trahan thumbnail data video, if you want to see more examples. So here's what you'll do for your channel. Write down some brands that your audience thinks and cares about. For my channel, it's probably going to be YouTube, it's probably going to be Canva, it's probably going to be Photoshop, for example. These are brands that my audience probably knows and probably uses. Now do the same thing for your channel. What are brands that your audience thinks about, care about, they use, they like. This will help in increasing your CTR. If I saw the same thumbnail here and I recognize this brand, but I don't recognize this one, I'm more likely to click on this video. The exercise will take like 1 minute, but it will help your thumbnails a lot. All right, for this next example, we're going to look at Hormozi. Yes, I know I always use him as an example, but I'm a fan. Okay, so if we scroll down here and just look at 2 of his most recent thumbnails, he's doing something in these 2 thumbnails here, which is absolutely genius. Now, before I say the point, this is in education, but it also works in entertainment. So if we look at Airrack's channel here, and we look at this thumbnail here, he's doing something very subtle, but very smart in the thumbnail. See, when we're about to watch a video, now because we have an endless amount of content to choose from, we're going to want to watch stuff that is good, obviously. We want very thought out, very planned, and ideally a high production value, whether that's in post or pre-production. And with Hormozi's blueprint thumbnail here, you can tell, hey, this is probably going to be a thought out video. Using a blueprint here in the thumbnail makes you think, okay, this is probably going to be a very thought out step-by-step process video. In other words, the pre-production is going to be very impressive. And it's the same thing with Airrack's thumbnails. The thumbnails show, hey, a lot of thought and planning and effort has gone into making this video. You can see that from the thumbnail alone. On YouTube or any piece of content, we don't want our time wasted. So if you can show in your thumbnail, hey, I've put a lot of effort into making this video, and you can visually show, hey, I've done a lot of pre-planning to make this video, then someone's going to be more likely to click. People want to watch stuff that has, someone's put in effort in order to make it. So can you, in your thumbnail, show, hey, I've put a lot of effort into making this video? Because having gone through the thumbnails of a lot of small channels, a common thing I see is a lot of you make really good videos, but you just don't know that until you start watching the video and you get quite far into the video. That effort just needs to be obvious in the thumbnail. You just need to lift that proof, hey, no, this actually is a good video, into the thumbnail. Prove the effort, prove the pre-production in the thumbnail. That trick might be a bit harder to execute in the thumbnail, but it definitely works if you do it right. The next channel we'll look at here is William Brown. So if you look at these thumbnails here, you can see that they are not similar to each other. And that's actually a piece of advice that you often don't get with thumbnail design. See, he has 74,000 subscribers as of recording this, so he's doing pretty well. And for those of you who say 70,000 isn't a lot of subscribers, for his niche, that's very impressive. On this channel, my subscribers range from 1 million plus subscribers to 0 subscribers. So my audience is built up of full-time YouTubers and those who want to start a YouTube channel. But something I see with even the small channels who are following me is, you might have 100 subscribers or something, and you're sticking to the same thumbnail style in every single video. If you don't have a loyal, built-up audience, you don't even have to worry about being consistent with your thumbnails. And someone like William Brown, who has a good size audience, even he's not scared to try out different thumbnail styles. So if a 70,000 subscriber channel isn't scared to try out different styles, then your channel with 100 subscribers or 1,000 subscribers shouldn't be scared to try out different thumbnail styles. Don't be scared to experiment with your thumbnails, because you never know, the next thumbnail style that you try out might be the one that blows up your channel. Now, speaking of trying out different thumbnail styles, I wanted to look at this channel here. This is Charlie Morgan. He has 220,000 subscribers, so he's doing pretty well. And I've seen him do this a few times now, and it's been very interesting to follow. He has completely switched thumbnail style multiple times. But he's not just switching styles and experimenting, he's doing something very interesting when he switches style. Look at this thumbnail here. Now look at this thumbnail here. Now look at this thumbnail here. The thing he's doing is every time he updates his thumbnail, he's actually doing the exact opposite of whatever the niche is doing. So his channel is mainly about business stuff. And what he's doing is really smart. He'll make a thumbnail like this. That looks completely different to the average business thumbnail. But then what happens is when this video blows up, a bunch of people try to copy this thumbnail here. And they did. So then what does he do? He does a complete 180 and does something completely different. So now his thumbnails look like this. And then what happens? A bunch of people start copying this thumbnail style. So now this thumbnail here doesn't look different on YouTube anymore because everyone's now doing this. So then he does another 180 and makes thumbnails that look like this. The point is, he is always iterating, trying something new and being one step ahead of everyone else. And this requires something that no one in the YouTube growth space seems to talk about. It requires creativity. So you actually have to think, okay, if everyone in my niche, so whatever your niche is, just look at what does the average thumbnail look like in your niche? Okay, how can you do something that is slightly different? How can you stand out from whatever the norm is in your niche? Just try something that is different. And Charlie Morgan has done this time and time again, and it's working for him. So sit down, Look for, I don't know, 10 minutes. What does the average thumbnail look like in your niche? Try to pick up on some similarities. What are they all doing? Is there anything that you could do with your thumbnails to be different? Like and subscribe if you found this video useful, and if you want to see me design a thumbnail from scratch for a client, then click on this video here. I go through the entire process of designing a thumbnail. Thanks for watching, see you in this video.